Welcome to Learning Life Skills Together. This is our weekly community Zoom meeting where our guests help us to go deeper into the 4 life skills and open up a huge array of chances to practice them. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our weekly Zoom meeting. This is number 33 with my friends Robyn, Slater, and Liz Hulse. And as always, before we get into our conversation, we're going to gather ourselves together in here as well as, amongst us with a little practice. And so since right now what we're talking about is the idea of emotion regulation, I want to do a very simple practice that can really help us understand how we are and maybe move us to a different place. Who knows? So if you're okay with it, and you're not driving, you could close your eyes. And you could tune into the sense that gravity is holding you here. So if you're standing or sitting or lying down, gravity is holding you. You can feel those places of pressure where your body meets your chair, your couch, your car seat, wherever you happen to be, the soles of your feet. Just noticing that and noticing maybe that gravity is indeed holding you so that you don't have to do a lot of work. You can let go maybe of some effort and allow yourself to be held. So just checking into that right now in your body. Is there maybe extra effort? And can you just let that go and let gravity hold you as best it can? It doesn't blink. It's got you. And so one of the things that you might check in on as you're doing this is the muscles of your face. So we spend a lot of our day, a lot of our time arranging the muscles of our face in ways that we hope are going to gain the approval of the others. And so right now, you could just let those muscles go to gravity. Allow yourself to not put effort. And so here's the deal, that as we shift how we're holding our face, sort of tells our body what our emotional response is in the moment. If we let it shift, possibilities open up. We may feel a different way or wish to feel a different way. But just being here, allowing your body, your whole body, including your face, to rest a little bit. And then if you'd like, when you're ready, you could open your eyes if they've been closed, and you could check into how it is with you right now. So we are recorded this week, so I can't ask everybody how it is for them, but I can ask our 2 guests. So, Robyn, Liz, How is it with you right now? What do you find? What did you notice?
Um, I find that that is a really great practice before something like this because I was a little nervous to come on, and I can definitely feel my heart beating fast. But when you're silent, you can just say, okay, that's what it's doing. And, you know, I'm
Hmm.
here in a safe place. I also find that when I really sit down and relax, I yawn all the time because I hold so much tension in my face.
Hmm.
So before I knew what was going on, I thought it was like, oh my God, am I being disrespectful by yawning? But it is my way to it's like a dog shaking. That's what I think.
It is. Yeah.
So
No. It's
I,
it's a it's a wonderful practice to yawn. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
we tense all of our muscles and relax them. Yeah.
so I feel great. Thank you.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah.
I too was grateful that this was how we were going to start. Uh, so I'd have a chance to gather myself, as you said.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that my body is as calm as it is. And, but I don't often think about the muscles in my face. And
Yeah.
so um, that was good. And I heard your suggestion that I actually might be able to sort of change my emotions by changing what I'm doing.
Yeah, it's really interesting, well-studied phenomenon that when we change our facial expression, we can move our emotions along with it. Yeah.
That gives me
So,
something to practice.
yeah, that's what we're all about. And learning life skills together is practicing because we can hear things, we can quote unquote learn things, but we don't learn them in here, and have them come out when we need them. We have to learn them in the body, in ourselves, in the way we carry ourselves, really, in order for it to be effective when we're under pressure, getting ready to go on a podcast. Right. Okay. So thank you for that. And I'm hoping that the folks who are listening to this now that we've recorded it, feel some of that as well and feel like they can join in with us because we're a little bit of a community that's trying to be open to more of the community. And so that's really our theme for this meeting is community and the importance of community in supporting everyone's wellness, everyone's resilience, which is what learning life skills together, by the way, is all about. So you are each from different organizations that have, maybe related missions, and that's one of the reasons that you're here. So I'm hoping that you could each introduce yourself a little bit and then talk a little bit about your organization and how it fits with this community idea.
Sure, I can start. This is Robyn. So I'm a coordinator here at the Chester County Hospital Community Health and Wellness Department. My main function is the call center coordinator. So I answer calls from the community Monday through Friday, all the time. I
Mm,
am as a resource. I will give you my phone number right now. Community, please call me 610-738-2300. But people from the community call me and say, I need this type of doctor in this area. And I try to walk them through getting into whether it's primary care or another specialty. We do receive calls about mental health. And then I also I sign up community members for our various wellness programs. So one of which we're going to talk about today, but the wellness department offers programs throughout the month on many, many different areas like diabetes and nutrition services, senior health, women's health, heart and lung, mental health. So we do offer things like QPR and mental health first aid. All of our classes are free. A lot of them are on Zoom, so people can take advantage of them. That was a switch, obviously, during the pandemic. The community health and wellness department switched from in-person to Zoom, and it's actually been really successful. But we do have some programs in person, again, like the one we're going to have this weekend. But the programs are really, we try to get, amazing speakers and interest from the community. So again, we have a lot of different programs, and those can be found on our website. And we work with a lot of different community-based organizations too, to see either offer programs in their buildings or see what kind of programs they need. And again, those can be anywhere from adult care, the senior centers, the Y. We work with a lot of different community-based organizations, and we include faith-based organizations in that because we know how important faith-based organizations are in getting the word out, not just with health information, but all kinds of information. So, but it's a really fun job. I mean, I never know what I'm going to get on the phone day to day. Some days are really busy, and some days people have other stuff to do. But we put a lot of programs together that are, people really love. So I encourage everybody to take advantage of them.
Wonderful. And so I will say, thank you for giving out the phone number.
Yeah.
We will post everything that you're up to, all the contact that would be useful on the show notes to
Perfect.
this
Perfect.
this
Yeah.
recording.
Yeah, and obviously so many things are online now, but people still really like to have a phone number, and they,
Oh yeah.
So I love talking to people, and maybe it's my growing up in the 80s, but I feel like I really do like talking to people and, getting them what they need, whether it's a doctor or whether it's registering for a class. So
Yeah. Wonderful. Thank you.
Thanks,
sure.
Mom.
All right. So Liz, how about you?
So my name is Liz Hulse. I noticed that I don't have that written on the little screen, but you said you'd give out our
Oh
contact
yeah, yeah.
information.
All of the names and everything will be here, and any material that you want to have people have in written form, we're happy to post.
Oh, great.
The
Okay.
more resources we have out there for people, the better.
So I'm the community engagement coordinator for the Episcopal Church of the Trinity, right in the middle of downtown Coatesville at 3rd and Lincoln Highway. And I have to say that the community, since we're talking about community, is such a warm and welcoming community of people that I feel very privileged to be working with. And our purpose really is to nurture the people who are involved in the church and the surrounding community. I feel as though our purpose is to help us to grow in love and to spread that beyond the walls of the church. The church is a 150-year-old building with a beautiful sanctuary that people might be interested in just coming and seeing the sanctuary because it's historic and it's beautiful. But that would just be a building.
Mm-hmm.
It's the when you walk in the big red doors on a Sunday morning and participate in this warm and friendly and welcoming community. I happened to be at the service in the back pew at the last service, and in the middle of the, not on time, but someone came through those doors that I had never seen before, had never been in the church before. And then I welcomed him and watched him be welcomed by the community. So that's what we do.
Mm.
9:30 on Sunday morning. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's wonderful, and that idea of being a welcoming community is so important, and so much, the subject for today, is that kind of welcome, that kind of the attitude of love that you're talking about is what sustains us. It gives us that resilience that we're talking about. So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to break in there.
So I'm
Keep
thankful for
going.
that. Thankful for that. And then I could tell you about some of the ministries that we have. If you're familiar with downtown Coatesville, there's a community gardens right next to our building. So we offer a place for people to grow their own food right in town. And we have a veterans brunch. We've done this for years. And it was somewhat, during the pandemic, it was difficult to do that. So sometimes we would prepare meals and take it up to where the veterans live. I call it up the hill in Coatesville. And working together to prepare that food, I have to tell you, is such a joy to be in the community where we're laughing together and talking together and working together. And I think it's love in action. So, and then we're welcoming the veterans and giving them a fabulous meal. I'm always amazed when I participate in that. I love participating in it. And then we also, one of our ministries is called Thistle Hills. And that is a residential program for women. And I describe it as it's transforming challenging pasts into beautiful futures. So that is another mission that our church has undertaken. And we have Sunday school for little ones, and we have a fabulous pianist who leads us in wonderful music. I think that's my...
Okay. So, and you are the outreach person. You're the person who's connecting the community to the community of the parish, right?
Right. So I love what I do. It's just a wonderful opportunity I have grown so many connections and relationships out in the community that it's a wonderful job. I mean, I love what I do.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm trying to do, make those connections between, sometimes we had the woman who is the director of NAMI in Chester County come and talk in one of our coffee hours after the service. And it was a lively conversation and very informative. So that's the kind of thing I try to set up, and the event we're going to have on Saturday.
Yeah, yeah. And so we'll get to that in a little bit. We'll talk more deeply about the event itself. And one thing that I'm interested in from both of you is, sort of how this event that we're doing on the 20th of July came together. So, I mean, you learned about learning life skills together, and there was something about what we're doing that sort of drew you in. And I'm wondering if you could articulate what that was, if you could say, where you sort of went, ding, oh, that would be something that I would like to learn more about. Yeah. So,
I can say that it was a Resilience Champions meeting where I first heard you speak about learning life skills together. And what struck me about it, now a little bit of background for me, is that I participate in a community coalition that takes place at the Coatesville Youth Initiative once a month. And I'm on the parent engagement committee in that coalition. And the topic has come up that it can be difficult for people to access mental health services and different ways to support the family as they're raising children. And so what struck me about it was that this was a way, I heard you say, this is about sort of prevention of
Right.
crisis. We're trying to support families in wellness to prevent
Yes.
crises. Or so and the things that you were focusing on were simple. I was attracted to the simplicity and the accessibility.
Yeah.
So you don't have to go through your insurance. You don't have to, if funding is a problem, you can access it. And I thought of it a little like if I wanted to cook something, it's a recipe of things I already have in the kitchen. Things I already have at my fingertips that I can use to help with emotional
Yeah.
regulation.
Yeah, that's a wonderful way of putting it. Is a set of recipes, or or a recipe for a dinner party, right? So there's lots of pieces that I think are of value. So this gives me a moment just to sort of recap what the program has in it. And so we're looking at these four life skills, which are the skills that really keep us mentally well and help us to be resilient. So the first one being this idea of paying attention to what's happening around us and to how that makes us feel. When we think about our kids, they're often, doing something and just reacting and maybe not coming at it from, how do I feel right now? Do I want to continue? Should I do something else? Where should I go with this? So it puts just that little beat, that little pause into our lives, that this way of paying attention. It's like, oh, that's what this is. I really like this. Oh, that's what this is. I'm not sure I do like this. Maybe I want to investigate something else, you know? And we had a talk last week, or yeah, well, it was last week, but it will be next week because I recorded it. But we were talking about, doom scrolling on the phone, which happens to with the older kids. They're sitting there for a very long time. And if you break in and say, just stop for a second. How do you feel? What's it like for you right now? It's often not as positive as they would think. And so it sort of brings up that whole question of, well, do I want to continue doing this? So that's kind of the attention piece. And after attention, we have emotion regulation, which we were doing, and there are 1,000 techniques for, and we try to keep it very simple in the way we talk about these things, so that there are 3 or 4 main ideas and main practices, to do. So there are essentially 4 things that we're talking about in this idea of emotion regulation. We can do it by using our body, by breathing, by changing how we're holding our body. We can do it, with our minds. And one of the really important ones, and this is where the program on Saturday, July 20th, comes in, which is called Name It to Tame It. So when your child can say to themselves or to you what the emotion they're having right now is very different than them just going off into it, right? Suddenly it's a thing that is able to be regulated. I'm feeling really anxious right now, or I'm feeling sad right now. Well, that's different than just melting down in the middle of the Acme, right? With the little ones. And for the older kids to be able to say, I'm feeling sad right now, and I think I know why. It's this. If we can all work with that kind of understanding of what's happening, we can solve problems. We can get to a place where we're not having a crisis, but we're just working things out as people who love each other. It's a very different position to be in. And so you have attention, emotion regulation, and kind of extending emotion regulation is sometimes we're in situations that we don't like, and they're not going to be over for a while. So, how do we get ourselves through that? In healthy ways, in ways that keep us well? That's that question. And I won't spoil it because we're going to open that module up in a little bit. So, and then the final one is really important and fits back in with our community idea. It's effectively communicating, right? Being able to say what it is we need and being able to listen to other people tell us what they need in any given situation. So that's the program, the learning part. And then there's how do we do that? Well, we want people to do that and have fun. We want people to do that and be together. So we're doing things like we're doing on Saturday coming up. We're coming together. The parents are gonna learn a little bit about how our brain works and how the name it to tame it thing actually accomplishes calming us down. You know, Meanwhile, the kids are going to be in another place doing an arts and crafts project. They're actually going to make masks of emotions. And so we'll do that for a little while until everybody's, got their masks done and got their learning done, and we'll come back together. And maybe the masks will sing for us and, something about how they feel. And then we'll have a meal together. I mean, and that is, so much of what community is all about. I hate to say it, but I've never worked anywhere or really even been anywhere where they don't say, at this place, we really like our food. You wouldn't believe what people bring in. You know, of course, it's how we get to each other, It's so wonderful. So we'll get a chance to do that. And of course, that will be splashed all over the show notes. So you'll be able to join us, folks that are listening. So, Robyn, we're back to you. I'm sorry. I just had to riff. I had to go for it.
I love it. I love it. Well, the question was what made me want to collaborate with Learning Life Skills Together. And so I got your name from from the director of the community wellness department, Michelle, and thought that, we could collaborate on a program. And when you started describing what learning life skills together was and describing what you just described, I feel like everything was resonating with me as a parent. And
Mm,
my son is 14 now, but when he was younger, we all had a difficult time. It was really challenging, and it was really hard. And I feel like it was, you have a child and you're kind of expected to know how to raise them, which I
mm,
what? So I feel like I really had to figure all those things out on my own and with my partner and my son too. And I felt like it made us a stronger unit, but I'm so grateful that there is a program that a person doesn't have to go and search around. And like Liz said, it's accessible and it's free and it's, so easy to do. Listen to a podcast, take a module. But yeah, it was everything you said really hit home for me because and it was the paying attention was the first thing. I felt like I needed to set a good example and couldn't be doom scrolling and get it on my phone
Right.
and be present with my son. And so I made a couple of like big choices. And one was I took all social media off my phone and I still don't have any. And I do feel like I'm missing out sometimes, but the payoff is far greater. Um, and I think one other thing that happened while I was in that chaotic moment was this woman I found. I still am active in her mindfulness, but she said, get up in the morning and say what you want. And I wanted a harmonious home. And I
Hmm.
created it, by through actions of paying attention and, like the messy parts. And sometimes I couldn't name my own emotions, but
Yeah.
you, it was a learning process. But, here we are and things are much better. But
Hmm.
it wasn't easy, but it was easy, I guess, because, it was just creating your intention and taking action towards it. And, I'm just really grateful that I was able to do that, but then that there are also programs like that for people that they don't have to go searching for it by themselves. And,
Yeah.
just to be aware that these things are important and that there is support for parents because there is no handbook and I feel like we need one. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but yeah, so I'm just really grateful, Don, for, this program and trying to get it out to the community because it's, it's the most important thing.
Our wellness and our resilience and that of our children is indeed the most important thing. That's how we live right in here.
Yeah, and I felt like as a mom, my energy was so powerful, and you could have
It is.
bad energy or you could have positive energy.
Yeah.
And I was like, I owe it to my family to, try to be positive, and if not, just keep doing things. Like I think Liz and I feel like we bonded because we both love nature and walking and I mean, I like those daily walks, they are critical for me. And, just having a little time in the morning to get focused, like all those daily actions are critical for
Yeah.
wellness. So,
Oh boy. Well, don't get me started on walking because, as a public health person and as a social worker and from the mental health and the physical health point of view, walking is like the perfect thing for people to take up and do at whatever level they can manage. And it changes things. It really does. Oops. End of sermon. But but Liz,
If
yes.
I could comment, I loved her phrase. She woke up every morning. What did she want? A harmonious home.
Mm,
That's a powerful
it
phrase, and it's
is.
a
It
powerful
is.
concept. Um,
Uh,
yeah, and that was another thing that attracted me to the program when you talked about things like walking and things, and Robyn talked about her personal experience, and the things that you're talking about are things that I have found in my own personal experience
yeah.
to be helpful to
Yeah.
my level of resilience.
They're so simple,
Yeah,
as I think we've said simple before, they're very simple things, but they're so simple that they get overlooked.
right.
We
Exactly.
we tend to go for the more complex, thinking that that's better, but really, keep it simple is the way to go. So, so Liz, as sort of a representative of that faith community space, and I think that the group that you're involved in that you were talking about is sort of an interfaith group, is it not?
Well, the community, well, I'm involved in a few different things.
Yeah, I know you are.
Sometimes I have to keep, it's hard to keep track of all the different things.
Yeah.
But I was referring to the Coatesville Youth Initiative
Oh,
community
okay.
meeting, which is not faith-based particularly, but I certainly was warmly welcomed there. And so there are
Mm,
different, there's faith-based, there's a police representative, there's different social service agencies represented. It's a wonderful
mm, yeah.
collaboration. And then I've been working, the hospital has been supporting a faith-based coalition in the community of Coatesville to
Right.
help the community be aware, as Robyn said, of the programs and resources they offer. And it's created a community where
Mm,
Robyn and I and the other people that she works with at the wellness center of the hospital, they've come into the community of Coatesville, and we've been working together and collaborating, and it's been very fruitful.
yeah. Yeah. And so the sort of the faith-based communities are not something that we've really talked about in our weekly meetings so far, but they are so important in sort of the weaving together of the greater community and in caring for their own communities, the parish at Trinity Church. So taking care of themselves and reaching out and taking care of others, right? And so that's another thing that this coming Saturday, July 20th, is all about. Yeah.
That's why we're
And
doing it. Yeah.
yeah, and it is a spectacular space to be in. I mean, I taking a look at it and figuring out what we're going to be doing where, I was really happy that we're going to have the kind of space to stretch out and the space to meet each other there. So thank you guys for extending that welcome as you always do. So I am wondering at this point, if I could ask each of you to think a little bit about this idea of community and wellness and see if you have for us a watchword, or if you can't get it down to one word, watchword is kind of maybe difficult. But if you have some words of wisdom for us that we can take away from this conversation. And I will keep talking while you think. So that's okay. I really do want to make sure that everybody gets the message that they are welcome to come to the program on Saturday, July 20 at Trinity Church in Coatesville. So somebody's smiling and ready to go.
Next
Liz, is that you? Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to share. This is more than a word of wisdom, but since we're talking about community and resilience,
Yeah.
so I have had the loss of people close to me in the last few years, and that is something that is obviously difficult, the
Mm.
grief.
Yeah.
And my experience of working in the position that takes me into the community, as well as the community, the loving, caring community of Trinity, has been a balm for my grief. Doesn't mean I don't grieve, but community has really been something that has helped me in that process
Mm.
to continue to be well as I go through the grief process.
Yeah.
So it's very apparent to me right in my life experience today how important that is. And I'll think about a watchword.
Okay, we'll come back to you. Meanwhile, Robyn, yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is the community health and wellness. So I feel like it's important to me to not just develop programs that I think are important, but to really listen to the community and understand what's happening on the ground. And I think the partnerships that Liz mentioned, either through community organizations or faith-based organizations, they're funneling the information back to us to say, this is what we need. And I feel like listening is such a critical part of that. And it's listening and then taking action towards it. And that's not, again, always easy because it may not be the way we have always done things. And so I want to be in that uncomfortableness, but move things forward. And this is not uncomfortable. Obviously, this is wonderful, but just in general. So I think listening openly and um, so I just am really grateful to Liz for you to open up your space to welcome us in and have this event there. I just want to say thank you so much. And then Don, for you and your team to come in and provide this, expertise. I think this is like a perfect example of what can happen when all of those community members get together. So I'm just really grateful to be involved.
Yeah.
And I think my watchword is love. I mean, I feel like love is the way. And again, something that I am intentional about is acting with love versus acting in fear. And I think it's
Mm,
really easy to act in fear. It's our initial reaction, but I think we have to get over that because
yeah.
it is two different outcomes, I think. So I always try to think, how can I not look at this from a fear-based perspective, but look at it from a different perspective. So that's my watchword.
Wonderful. So it's really, that idea of find the love is kind of about taking that pause because as you say, we often go off into fear or, whatever other emotion shows itself for us. And so to take that pause, say, what's going on? Where do I really want to be? Do I really want to be in with love? Maybe. Hmm.
And
Yeah.
oftentimes it's maybe just love for yourself. Like, how can I love myself right now? And again, like we said, it's not selfish. It's the most important thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, Liz, yes.
Thank you, Robyn. You said so many important things there. And one of them was about listening. And I think the purpose of why I wanted to have this event at Trinity is for the purpose of listening to the carers for children in
Mm,
the community. It's not just that we have a program, but that we want to listen to their needs as well. And my watchword is come. And the Spirit says,
mm. Yeah. Okay.
I love that. Yes, please come to the party we're having on Saturday.
Yes. Come to our party and we will respond with love, we hope. Yes. Wonderful. Okay,
you
we
can
got
take
them
that.
both in there. So thank you both. Thank you, Robyn. Thank you, Liz. And I look forward to seeing you all, and I look forward to seeing as many people as hear this. Sign up. It's in the show notes. Okay.
Thanks, Don.
So
Thank you.
thanks.